So I'm getting ready to strap on the microphones, and our CEO will be here in just a second. You know, one of the things I love about doing this series is the infectious enthusiasm from these people. These people are winners. They are ready to see things all the way through. They are relentless. They are dedicated. They are focused. It's food for me, practically, and it might be food for you. Jim Marggraff, the CEO of Livescribe, coming up next. From KCBS, All News 740 and FM 1069, and CBS Interactive, this is Homegrown, CEO.
Well, it's the Livescribe Smart Pen is a mobile computing device, and it's in the form of a pen. So I'm holding one right now. This is a smart pen, and this is a computer. It's a fully multimodal computer. What that means, John, is everything that you write with this, everything you say, everything you hear is captured, can be accessed on your computer or your iPad or a tablet, and can be shared with other people. Imagine you're taking notes. So most people in the world write, most people, in some form or another. And if you're writing, you're capturing notes in maybe a classroom. You're taking notes, and why are you taking them? Because you want to go back and look at them, recall what you heard, what you thought. The challenge is, in a classroom, you have to decide, do I listen or do I write? So what we've said is, gee, if I'm writing notes, wouldn't it be nice if I could also capture everything that I'm hearing as I'm writing and synchronize that audio with the notes on paper? So when I go back to my notes, I turn to page 3, line 6, I touch it, literally with my pen on the paper, and I hear what was spoken at the moment I wrote that note on paper. John, this is the Livescribe Smart Pen. This is an Echo Smart Pen, and I'd like to show you what it does. I start by writing on paper. So I have a piece of paper here, and if I write on this, hello. So what I've written now is stored in the pen as digital ink. When I dock my pen via a USB connection to my PC, that will transfer to my PC or my Mac, and I'll have a permanent copy of it there. So all the notes I take in my notebook across all the pages will be digitized and stored. But that's a starting point. That's what a digital pen has done, and they've been around a few years. What I created was a smart pen. So a smart pen is intelligent, and what we did to show that, first of all, is one application, which begins with audio. So if I come down here and I touch, I've got some recording and playback controls. So I'll touch record, and my pen will say it's recording.
Got it.
So now I'm going to write. I'll write one. Oops, I'll write one. This is the Echo Smart Pen. It has a speaker, a microphone, a display, audio I/O, a USB connector, and it's 2, 4, or 8 gigabytes of memory in it. And as I'm writing, two, if we connect it to a Mac or PC, what will happen is it'll move my ink and audio to the Mac and PC. But as I'm speaking right now and it's recording, it's synchronizing what I say with what I write on paper. So when I come back in a little while, I'm going to touch the ink on the page, and you'll hear it play back what I've said just now.
Great.
So the third part of our platform now is our cloud. And that means you can take the ink and the audio, move them to your PC, move them up to your cloud, and then you have a copy of this which you can then view or share with other people. So let me pause there, and it says we've recorded 50 seconds of audio. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug in an external speaker, just quickly, so you get a little bit louder sound here. And I'll plug this in, and we'll go back and touch the notes that I've written. So if I come here where I wrote one, and you listen, you turn up my audio.
This is the Echo.
So I'll touch one.
One. Oops, all right, one. This is the Echo.
And two.
Smart Pen. It has a speaker. Two. So two, if we connect it to a Mac
and
PC,
three.
what will happen is three, the third part of
so
our
wherever I
platform
touch,
now is our
Echo,
cloud.
my
Smart
PC,
Pen. To a Mac or PC, what will happen is
and it starts playing audio back exactly at that point in time. Now if I unplug this, so I take the cable off, you can hear if I touch two, turn up my volume, and three. So audio, microphone, self-contained, it's a computer. And again, I can capture my audio and play it back. Now further, if as a computer, what I should be able to do is I should be able to launch an application on a piece of paper and play it.
Yep.
But you say, okay, here's your piece of paper. Where's your menu system? How do you navigate to an application?
How do you?
Okay, well, I can draw my own user interface, or I can use the idea. We printed on the page something that is similar to a rocker panel on a cell phone, lets you navigate up, down, left, and right, which people are familiar with. But I can also draw my own. So if I take this now, I'll plug in a speaker for our mics here, so we're just a little bit louder. And if I draw a plus sign like this and tap the center twice, oops, hold on, I have a faulty cable here.
There you go.
Main menu.
There we go. I have a menu system. And now if I navigate with this, watch what happens.
Applications.
I can scroll to a folder of applications,
Paper replay.
paper replay,
Connect.
connect,
Piano.
a piano, which is interesting,
Translator demo.
a translator. If I go back up,
Piano.
you'll see it go up and down.
Translator demo.
Real easy to navigate. Now if I go off to the right, which is what you typically do to launch an app,
Spanish.
it will say Spanish. If I go right again,
Write a word.
it'll tell me to write something. So as I described before, if I write a word like one, my pen will say
Uno.
one, it'll translate it to Spanish and speak it. If I write, say, beer,
Cerveza.
and maybe please, and I can write in cursive
Por
or
favor.
printing. Now those words that I've written on the page stay hot. So if to activate them, I just go back and touch them.
Uno.
One.
Cerveza, por favor.
Okay, now if I'd like to switch languages, let's move to
Spanish.
Chinese.
Mandarin.
And let's touch this.
啤酒
Now, if you get a close look there without glare, you can see the iconographic characters, the kanji characters for beer in high resolution. So we designed an 18 by 96 pixel OLED display so you can see the characters very crisply. If I go please,
请
now we'll change it to
Mandarin.
Arabic.
Arabic.
And we'll go,
واحد بيرة من فضلك
which is
من فضلك.
just an interesting word. So one other app I'll show you just for fun. Now it's a little frivolous, but it's useful. Another way to launch an application is just draw a line like this, and now I write a word like piano, P-I-A-N-O, and my pen will say piano.
Draw your piano. First, draw 9 vertical lines from left to right.
So if I touch, I will draw a line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Connect the lines on the top and bottom.
My pen will tell me to finish it off. There's a keyboard there and there.
Write the letter I. This is your instrument icon. Double tap when you're done.
So I'll put an I down
Write the letter
and an
R.
R.
This is your rhythm tracks icon. Tap the keys to play.
So now I can play this. There's my keyboard. In fact, if I want, I can even just quickly finish it
Add
off.
sharps and flats. Draw C sharp.
So we'll put in a C sharp, shows us where to
Draw
put
D
it.
sharp.
D sharp.
Draw F sharp.
F sharp.
Draw G sharp. Draw A sharp. Tap the keys to play.
Great.
Okay? So John, I'd like to share with you now our big announcement.
Go.
So here we go. If you come in here and take a look, I'll write this out for us. So what I'll do, I'm going to build a little session because you've already seen how this works capturing ink and audio. I'll start with one. So to date, what we've had is a pen on paper that lets you write information, connect it to your Mac or PC, and then you can see it there, but you can also export it as a PDF. You can export it as a .pencast, which is our own proprietary format, which people can see if they download our viewer from a cloud, or you can export it as an audio file. Okay, we said we need a standard format. So what we did is we took a PDF and we said, well, PDF is static. We want it to be dynamic or animated with audio. So we created a pencast PDF because there's 700 million users of Adobe Reader out there. So we took Adobe Reader, not Pro, Reader, which is the free version, and we designed it so that, modified it so that we can take ink and audio, and when you open a file in Reader that is a PDF file, a pencast PDF, you have a control bar at the bottom, you have a play button, a pause, a stop, a little slider, and if you click on the ink on this inside a PDF, you'll be able to play back your ink as you drew it on paper, like right now, with the audio inside a basic PDF with Adobe Reader. So that was the first thing we did. The second thing is we said, gee, I'd like to be able to email this easily to somebody. So we said, okay, if you want to email it, you should just be able to pre-underline a word like this. I'll draw over and back, then I'll write the word email. And then it'll prompt me to say, okay, touch the pages you want to send. So say I've got several pages on my notebook. I can touch a page, maybe circle part of a page, and then write an email address. Then when I tap twice, when I dock my pen, that will be sent as an email, as an attachment to an email generated to this person as a pencast PDF. So that's two. The third thing we did, I'll show you here, I'll go 3, and I'll turn pages, and I'll go 3 here. 3, we said, okay, I want to send this information, again, from pen and paper. I want to send it now to a cloud service. Now, what cloud service? Well, we're asked all the time by Evernote users if they could get their notes and audio in Evernote. And also they'd like to put it on Facebook and share it with their friends, maybe send an invitation to a party. Or they'd like to put it in Google Docs, where they can then share it and collaborate. And maybe they'd like to send a tweet or maybe even an MMS message. So those are things that were part of our announcement, because I can do that from paper easily. I have a 16 and 18-year-old right now, and they've lived through this with me many times. And they've seen what's required to do this. And you hear words like perseverance, and you hear words like passion. And those are words, until you live those in the context of the challenges that you're faced with on a day-to-day basis, week after week, and you think you're going along. You start out with a good idea, you get some funding, you move along, and all of a sudden you get this big problem, whether it's a marketing problem, a legal problem, a contract problem, a technology problem, or personnel problem. They all come up, and it hits you. You kind of work through it, you pick yourself up, and then you go forward, you're moving along, and then another one hits. And it's pretty much nonstop. And what people see on the back end of a successful company is an idea that looks obvious. It looks like, well, gee, I should have thought of that. What they don't see are the wreckage of scattered bodies that have been left behind on ideas that never came to market. And they also don't see what happened as you're going along and you're dealing with the type of challenges that you deal with, which are pretty daunting at times.